Alaska. The Kushtaka. Eli didn't know why he agreed to go. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe it was that he hadn't seen Thomas's sister in years and she caught him at a weak moment. Maybe it was the way she phrased it. Just a week at the cabin, Eli. A break. Sometime off-grid. Somewhere quiet. He was a factory supervisor in Anchorage now, tired and frayed around the edges. A week in the deep wilderness near Port Chilkoot didn't sound relaxing, but he couldn't say no when she smiled like that. Casey had gone ahead to the cabin that morning. By the time Eli arrived by seaplane, the skies had darkened. Storms rolled over the jagged peaks like bruises bleeding into the sea. "Looks like snow's coming early," the pilot said as he dropped Eli at the dock. "Yell loud if you need extraction. Radio's unreliable in this corner." The forest closed in fast. Huge spruce trees blotted out the sky. It was quiet, oppressively so. No birds, no wind. The trail up to the cabin was narrow, barely visible. As Eli hiked, he began to feel watched, as though something moved behind the trees, too quiet to hear. The cabin stood alone on a small hill. Smoke curled from the chimney. When he reached the porch, the front door creaked open. "Eli?" Casey's voice, distant. He stepped inside. The fire crackled. Tea steamed on the table. But Casey wasn't there. "Casey?" he called again, stepping into the bedroom. Empty. Something scratched from under the bed. He dropped to his knees and peered underneath. Just wood and dust. When he stood up, Casey was there, suddenly, in the doorway. But her smile was too wide. Her pupils were too dark. "You look like hell," she said flatly. Eli stepped back. "You okay?" She nodded slowly, like she had to remember how. They ate dinner in silence. She didn't eat much. Her eyes stayed on him the entire time, watching, not blinking. "I'm gonna turn in," he said, faking a yawn. That night, he woke to the sound of the front door opening. He looked out the window. Casey was outside, walking toward the woods barefoot in the snow. "Casey!" he shouted, running after her. She vanished into the trees. He found her a quarter-mile out, standing on the edge of a frozen river. She was crying. "I didn't call you here," she said without turning. It did. He moved closer. "What are you talking about?" "It's wearing me," she whispered. "It took me yesterday. I tried to warn you." Then she jumped into the river. He screamed and lunged after her, but the water was gone. Just ice. And Casey was gone. He ran back to the cabin, breath ragged. Inside, Casey stood by the fire, dry, calm. "Where'd you go?" she asked softly. Eli backed away. "You're not her." The thing that looked like her smiled. Its teeth were too many. Its eyes glimmered like wet stones. "I'm better than her," it said. He bolted, slamming the door behind him, and ran blindly into the woods. The snow fell harder now. The trees swayed, not from wind, but movement, something crawling between them, around him. Above, he tripped over a root and fell face first into the snow. As he pushed himself up, a shape loomed behind a tree. Not human. It was otter-like, walking on two legs. Wet fur matted with blood. Its hands were long and clawed. Its face twitched and split into a smile that was almost human. Then it whispered, in Casey's voice, "Come back, Eli. It's cold." He turned and ran, deeper into the trees. The Kushtaka followed. He didn't sleep that night. He found shelter in a hollow beneath an overturned tree, covered in moss and bark. He waited for morning. When the gray light came, he retraced his steps to the cabin. It was empty. No sign of the creature. He tried the satellite radio. Dead. He hiked down to the dock. The plane was gone. But something else stood at the edge of the lake. 5 identical figures, each wearing Casey's face. They smiled in unison. "We're your family now," they whispered. Eli didn't remember picking up the axe. But suddenly, it was in his hand. He swung wildly. The creatures scattered, their voices shrieking into dozens of overlapping tones, men, women, children, all echoing. He ran for hours, snow soaking into his boots, breath burning. When he finally collapsed, he was alone. Then came the laughter, high-pitched, otter-like. The snow beside him shifted. It rose from beneath the powder like an eel through water. The Kushtaka towered over him now. Its breath smelled like salt and rot. "Don't you want to laugh?" it asked. Eli swung the axe again. but it passed through the creature, like smoke. Then it grabbed his face. He didn't remember the next part. Only pain. And then cold. So much cold. When he opened his eyes, he was sitting on the dock. The storm had passed. A new plane landed. The pilot stepped out. "Eli Davis?" Eli stood and nodded slowly. "Where's Casey?" Eli smiled. "She left early." The pilot didn't notice the black glint in Eli's pupils, the way his lips curled too wide. They flew back to Anchorage in silence. That night, the pilot drowned himself in the hotel bathtub. 2 days later, 3 hikers went missing near Port Chilkoot. Eli returned to his job. He was quieter now, smiled more. Sometimes, at night, he'd stand by the river and hum to himself. And if you listened closely, you'd hear another voice, wet and slick and eager, humming with him. Like and subscribe.